Magandang araw sa ating mga kaibigan, kababayan, kapatid ko po dito, mga Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia. And dyan po sa Sabah Malaysia po. And kung nasan man kayo po. Ito po si Nico Fabian on a Thursday. Thursday afternoon. And tuloy natin po ang programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Welcome everybody po. Kung nasan man kayo, ang mga Filipinos sa Malaysia, ang overseas Filipinos, kung nasan man kayo, ang mga kapatid, kaibigan natin sa Pilipinas din po, no? Welcome na welcome kayo dito po sa programa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. And today, mayroon tayong mga topic that I'm going to discuss. Medyo mainit itong balita po. And may mga video clips that I'm going to share with you, which was reported dyan po sa Pilipinas kahapon. Ito po, kagabi or kahapon po, no? And let's touch on this issue a little bit so that you will have an idea of what is happening dyan po sa Pilipinas. And what are the issues that we are going to discuss today? We are going to discuss about the Blue Ribbon Committee investigating po. They are investigating these flood control projects, which many of the Filipinos were very angry because of the malversation or sabihin natin na nagnakaw ng pera ng mga taong bayan po by the trillions po, no? It's not on the millions. Why? Because we were made to understand that based on the investigation of not only the Blue Ribbon Committee, no, but also the ICI, and of course based on social media news, no, news and from the national media dyan po sa Pilipinas, no, na grabe po ang what happened sa Pilipinas when it comes to the flood control projects po. It was informed officially na the government discovered that there was ghost projects, substandard projects, and many more anomalous deals, no, when it comes to the flood control projects. And not only that po, no, problems regarding our national budget 2023, 2024, 2025, and of course 2026 po. So dahil dyan po, galit na galit ang mga Filipinos po, no? They feel or we felt cheated by our own fellow countrymen, especially politicians po, especially those who are holding a very sensitive position in the government, such as senators, congressmen, top government officials, sabihin natin cabinet secretaries, and also the name of no less than our own President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. was also mentioned or implicated in this malpractices, anomalous malpractices dyan po sa gobyerno po, which involved millions, trillions of taxpayers' money. And because of that po, not only we are suffering, the Filipino masses, especially the ordinary Filipinos po, but our reputation as individual Filipinos, as a country, as a republic, the name of the Philippines has been tarnished po. And we are hoping that we will be able to find solution, and we will be able to solve this problem and change back our image from bad to good image po. So that ang mga ibang bansa will again respect ang Philippines. So for whether we like it or not po, we cannot blame if other nations, they look down on the Philippines or to the Filipinos po because of what they heard of what is happening dyan po sa Pilipinas. Anyway, sige po, let's start itong topic natin. And before I'm going to start ang topic natin, I would like to shout out muna tayo kay Mary Lou Pentojo is watching our program. And lahat po, no? I cannot read the names now all, but to all of you, no, who is monitoring ang programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico, I would like to say salamat Patan, salamat malam, and salamat pagi to each and every one of you. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. Alright, tuloy na tayo po. So the first thing that I'm going to touch is on the Blue Ribbon Committee. Alright, Blue Ribbon Committee. What is happening sa Blue Ribbon Committee? We don't know, but according to the chairman, si Senator Ping Lacson, there will be another maybe one or two more or three more hearings before they will culminate. No? They will culminate the investigation on the flood control projects. And yesterday, it was already a hot topic in the Philippines, wherein no less than our Senate President and of course the chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee already mentioned that about the submission of a Blue Ribbon draft committee report to the Senate. But there was a leakage, no? And dahil dyan po sa leakage na medyo nagiging mainit itong sabihin natin issue ng Blue Ribbon Draft Committee Report, no? Committee Report. And let me share with you po, first and foremost po, itong report sa national media regarding this issue, the draft, Blue Ribbon Committee Draft Report po, no? And it became a hot issue dyan po sa Pilipinas kahapon po during ang Senado session, during the Senate session po. And alright, let's start po. Let's watch and listen to this report po. Let's watch and listen to this report. Watch, listen carefully po. So you will really understand what is happening po dyan po sa Blue Ribbon Committee. Watch and listen, and here we go.
Yes, Jiggy. Nagpulong na ngayong kaninang hapon lamang yung mga miyembro ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee na mula sa majority block para pag-usapan nga yung laman ng sinasabing draft partial committee report kaugnay sa mga ginawang pagdinig sa flood control scandal. Pero bago yan, nakapanayam natin o na-interview natin Senator Ping Lacson, ang chairman ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, kung saan ay kinumpirma nga niya na kasama sa rekomendasyon ng draft partial committee report na yan ang pagpapakaso sa 6 na dati at kasalukuyang mga mambabatas. So sino-sino ba yan? Kasama dyan sa draft report niya, Jiggy, yung rekomendasyon na kasuhan sila Zaldico, dating Senador Bong Revilla, Senators Jinggoy Estrada, Jesus Escudero, Joel Villanueva at dating Congresswoman Mitch Kahayon-Uy. At ang sinasabi ni Senator Ping Lacson, yung rekomendasyon na yan ng paghahabla sa ilang mga mambabatas, wala naman daw yan kinaibahan sa nauna ng rekomendasyon ng Department of Justice at ng Ombudsman laban sa ilang mga nabanggit na mambabatas. Narito ang bahagi ng pahayag ni Senator Ping Lacson.
All of them are already undergoing preliminary investigation. Yung iba nga may warrant na eh. So, as long as our committee report and the recommendations therein are aligned with the practical realities, yung sabihin nandiyan na, walang problema.
Jiggy, nauna nang itinanggi ng mga nadadawit na senador na may kinalaman sila o kasama pa sila sa pumikpak dyan sa sinasabing flood control projects na yan. Bagamat ang ilan sa kanila, gaya nila Senator Jinggoy Estrada, Senator Joel Villanueva, Senator Jesus Escudero, ay nalingka ng ilan sa mga tumayo na testigo at resource persons doon sa mga pagdinig ng Blue Ribbon Committee, gaya na lamang ni Engineer Alcantara at gayon din na dating Undersecretary ng DPWH. Samantala, nakausap ko mismo sa Senator Joel Villanueva at tinanong ko siya, ano bang reaksyon niya doon sa charges na sinasabi at nire-recommend ng committee report na i-file against him na may kinalaman sa flood control scandal. At narito ang bahagi ng aking panayam sa kanya. Among those recommended to be charged, sir. Okay, you have those recommended to be charged by Blue Ribbon, sir. Look for Blue Ribbon. Send me, sir, the draft report, sir. It's just a draft yet. Draft pa lang.
Pirmihan nilang senador na rin, may mga pumirma na bang senador dito sa draft report at may balita, di ba, na may pumirma pero bumawi para pag-aralan muna.
Tama ka, Jiggy. Round partial committee report na yan kahapon at sabi niya Senator Ping Lacson nakakuha siya ng 7 pirma kasama yung kanyang sarili. So aside from Senator Ping Lacson, sino-sino pa ba yung mga pumirma? Senator Vic Zubiri, Senator J.B. Ejercito, Senator Wayne Gatchalian, Senator Isma Aquino, Kiko Pangilinan, and Risa Hontiveros. Pero tama ka, after a few hours, bumawi yung 3 senador ng kanilang pirma. So yung mga bumawi, sila Senators Vic Zubiri, J.B. Ejercito, and Wayne Gatchalian. Ang sabi nila, kailangan kasi nilang pag-aralan muna yung laman talaga, no? At aminado naman din talaga, Senator Ping Lacson, na may complexity talaga. At syempre, may issue talaga kung sino-sino yung mga nadawit na pangalan, kasama na yung kanilang mga kasamahan dito sa Senado. So naiintindihan daw ni Senator Ping Lacson yung pagbawi ng ilang mga senador sa kanilang pirma. Hindi raw masama ang loob niya dyan, as long as nasa rules naman kasi talaga nila na dapat bago pumirma ay aralin muna yung mismong committee report. Kumbaga, Jiggy, naging nakagawian na lang kasi in the recent past na iniikot na lang basta, routed na lang basta yung committee report. Pero kung tutuusin daw talaga dapat pinagpupulungan pa yan ng mga miyembro ng komite. Samantala, sabi ni Senator Ping Lacson, bukas siya sa ano bang magiging rekomendasyon ng kanyang mga kasamahan sa Tribune Committee na posibleng ipadagdag o ipabawas doon sa nai-route na o naiikot na draft partial committee report. Pero nanindigan si Senator Ping Lacson na paninitigan niya na dapat manatili yung rekomendasyon ng pagpapakaso doon sa 6 na dati at kasalukuyang mga mababatas na nabanggit ko kanina. So far, sabi ni Senator Ping Lacson, kailangan makakuha siya ng 11 signatures out of the 20 members of the Ribbon Committee para ma-report out niya at maging final na committee report yan. Masabi niya at ma-report niya sa plenaryo. Pero pag walang 11 signatures, Jiggy, hindi yan matatawag na committee report at hindi niya rin yan ma-report out mismo sa plenaryo. Jiggy.
Alright, thank you very much. Yan po, narinig natin ang report dyan po sa national media kahapon o kagabi ito po, no? About ang issue ng Blue Ribbon Committee partial draft report, no? And klaro-klaro po, it was officially announced by no less than the chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee that those recommended for case, no, are ito na po si Senator Estrada, Senator Estrada, Senator Villanueva, Senator Escudero, no? Escudero po. And of course, nandiyan na po si former Senator Bong Revilla, nasa DT na ngayon po. And of course, former Congresswoman, si Kahayon Oy, also mentioned po. And let me give you more details regarding itong issue po, no? Itong issue ng Blue Ribbon Committee Draft Report. And remember po, it was also mentioned very clearly that si chairman, Blue Ribbon Chairman Ping Lacson, he needs 11 signatures po for the Blue Ribbon Committee report po will be valid or official po. Out of the 20 senators, kailangan siya ng 11. If we can get that 11 po, then yon na mga recommendations by the Blue Ribbon Committee po will be officially forwarded already po to the authorities concerned, no? Sa Ombudsman, and then Ombudsman siguro po dyan na po sa Sandigan Bayan. But let's see po, let's see hanggang Monday kasi nag-adjourn sila kagabi, no? Ang session ng Senate was adjourned yesterday evening, and they are going to resume the session on February 9, and that will be on Monday, on Monday po. So still, I'm going to continue on monitoring ang situation po so that you will be properly informed. Okay, some details regarding the issue po. Mayroon tayo dito po sa sa Philstar po, ang news report nila is, ang heading is, Leaked Blue Ribbon Report Hit. No? Kasi, it should have been secret po, no? Kahapon, may nag-leak about the draft draft committee report po, kaya nga nagiging issue ito po. But anyway, nandito po, let's watch, let's listen to some of the details of this very important issue at saka mainit na issue po. The Senate President pro tempore Panfilo Lacson yesterday, kahapon ito po, ibig sabihin Wednesday, criticized the leakage of a draft and unofficial report of the Blue Ribbon Committee on the flood control investigation, even as he confirmed the names of lawmakers recommended by the charge for corruption po. No? Siya din po nagulat, no? Paano nag-leak itong news po. But he confirmed na mayroon talaga itong draft committee report. The partial unofficial report recommended the filing plunder. Ha? Ang draft unofficial report is recommending to file plunder cases, malversation, and other criminal charges. Kanina po, to whom? First, to mga senators po, kagaya ni Senator Francis Escudero, the former Senate President, Jinggoy Estrada, Senator Jinggoy Estrada, and Joel Villanueva, Senator Joel Villanueva po. Tatlo yon senador po. And sino-sino pa po? Former Senator Ramon Revilla Jr., who is already detained for malversation and nasa kustodiya na po ng jail management po na si Senator Bong Revilla Jr., former senator. And sino pa po? Ang mga pangalan sa lista ng draft report ng Blue Ribbon Committee, itong fugitive former lawmaker Saldico, former Public Works Secretary Manuel Banuan, no? Manuel Banuan, former Caloocan lawmaker Mitch Kahayon Uy, former Education Undersecretary Trigib Olivar, Escuderos L.H. Beckman, technical entrepreneur Maynard Ngu, and members of the alleged Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH syndicate po. So yun ang lista, no? Lacson said it was natural for the anti-graft panel to recommend charges against the lawmakers after former DPWH engineers accused them during the Blue Ribbon hearing of receiving kickbacks from flood control projects. So nakita ninyo po, again, I would like to read kung sino-sino po. Sino-sino? Si Senator Francis Escudero, Jinggoy Estrada, Joel Villanueva, former Senator Ramon Revilla Jr., fugitive former lawmaker Saldico, former Public Works Secretary Manuel Banuan, former Caloocan na lawyer Mitch Kahayon Uy, former Education Secretary Trigib Olivar, and ito si Maynard Ngu, and members of the alleged Department of Public Works and Highways. Siguro sila na yun po. Ang mga officials ng Public Works and Highways, sila yan po. Sila Henry. Sila Henry Hernandez. Sila Alcantara. Henry Alcantara. Sila Bryce Hernandez. And sino-sino pa po. But nag-notice ba natin po, no? Ang pangalan ni former Undersecretary Bernardo. Wala yata, no? And yan po, ang din, siya mismo nag-admit. Admit siya na he played a role dyan po sa flood control projects. Bakit wala? There are dami po mga pangalan po na ang mga tao dito kami sa Malaysia, mga Filipinos po, we are pondering, we are questioning, bakit kagaya ito si Bernardo, former Undersecretary Bernardo, former Speaker of the House, si Martin Romualdez. Bakit wala po? See? Baka mastermind yan po. Bakit wala? Diyan ang problema ngayon. Yan ang problema ngayon. Ano ba ito? Selective justice ba ito? Ano ba itong Blue Ribbon Committee? They're just choosing the people? Takot sila? Yung mga iba? Yung mga... Because it is very impossible po. Itong mga tao po, they will do those things po without the knowledge of the speaker. It's very impossible. For me, hindi pwede yan po. And mention na po, no? Mention na talaga, even si Bernardo yata po, mention, no? Na ano siya po, he brought the money for Speaker former Speaker Martin Romualdez po sa bahay. Wala daw ebidensya. Ito ang mga questions po, no? Which you cannot blame ang mga tao are questioning. Authorities are already investigating the same names, he noted. Lacson said the draft and unofficial report still does not have enough signature from the 20 members of the Blue Ribbon Committee, including 3 ex-official members. It needs 11 majority signatures before it can be reported to the plenary for approval po. No? Further doubt was cast on the veracity of the document after 3 senators. No? Kapon po, may aduda po because earlier nag-sign na yan po ang mga senador po sa draft. No? But after few hours po, 1 or 2 hours po, 3 senador retracted ang signature nila. Sino-sino yan po? Ha? Nandito. After further doubt was cast on the veracity of the document after 3 senators. Sino yan po? Majority Leader Juan Miguel Zubiri, Sherwin Gatchalian, and J.B. Ejercito withdrew their signatures, saying they needed more time to read through it. Sino? Zubiri, Gatchalian, and Ejercito. Nag-sign na sila unang-una, and they retracted it po. Saying na they still want to study ang case po, ang draft. Lacson said he respected their decision to withdraw their signatures, acknowledging that this brings down the number of signatures to only 3. No? Kailangan si Senator Ping Lacson 11 signature po. If he cannot get that 11 signature po, hindi yan pwede pasok na po sa plenary ng Senado po for approval. For approval po. I respect the opinion of my colleagues in this regard. So, if I am not able to gather or secure 11 signature, then there will be no committee report, he explained. Lacson also defended the noticeable absence of former Speaker Martin Romualdez from the partial report, despite the testimony of former Marine Orly Guteza, who attended one hearing to implicate Romualdez and co. in flood control projects. Na-acknowledge siya po, no? Na walang pangalan ni former Speaker Martin Romualdez. He said Romualdez will fall under a different category. Sabi ni Lacson, Romualdez will fall under a different category from the other lawmakers named who were implicated based on corroborative evidence. Lacson admitted that the soon-to-be released report on the flood control corruption could cost the Senate presidency of Vicente Soto. Posible daw yun po, no? Kung maglabas itong report po and mga senators na Tepi, it might lead to the change of leadership sa Senado. Sabi ni Blue Ribbon Committee Chairman Ping Lacson. But SP Soto is all behind the Blue Ribbon, sabi ni Lacson. So yun po. Yun ang problema ngayon dyan po sa, hindi naman problema po, no? Pero yun mga issue ngayon dyan po sa Senado. Kahapon yun po, so ang session po. And we'll be touching one more issue po, no? One more issue, what happened kahapon sa Senate session, no? Mamaya naman po, dito muna tayo sa flood control project draft report. Draft report po. So, sa palagay ninyo po, mga followers natin dito po sa Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico, how do you look at the situation po? Do you agree what is happening now dyan po sa Senado? No? Ang sabihin natin itong selective ba ito? No? Ang report nila? Ang dami pa mga tao na dapat included to recommend for charges po. But apparently, wala po. Why wala? Bakit wala? Why their names are not appearing in the recommendation of the Blue Ribbon Committee? And is it we are going to see another 2 or 3 more hearings before it will be concluded? In that event po, there will be a change of, sabihin natin, change of leadership next week. Sa Monday po, February 9 po. And Senator Ping Lacson did manage to get 11 signatures po. Ibig sabihin, 100% if there will be change of leadership in the Senate, we will have a new Senate President, and definitely po, I'm sure, we are going to have a new chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee. And this new chairman po will continue ang investigation po. And who else? Who else po? People are clamoring. They believe that can do a good job po. Walang bias. And it is Senator Rodante Marcoleta po. Rodante Marcoleta. So let's see. Let's watch po. So February 9 na naman po. It's just a matter of bukas is already Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 more days na lang. 3 tulog na lang yan po. And then the following day, Monday, we wake up. Hintayin natin hanggang alas 3 ng hapon. And we will see po kung there will be change of leadership. But may istorya tayo mamaya tungkol sa change of leadership dyan po sa Senado. Dyan po sa Senado. Alright. And talking about sandali po let's see. Okay, let's see. Ready na ba tayo to go to the next topic? Next topic po. Hold on. Kung okay na ba tayo dyan? Sa next topic na tayo. Okay. Siguro pwede na tayo. We go to the next topic po. Sa impeachment. Yon change of leadership. Since I mentioned already change of leadership po, no? There might be a change of leadership on Monday, February 9. Now, may nangyari po kahapon. In fact, kahapon, during the session po, even ang mga senador, they're expecting something will happen po, no? Change of leadership. Something will happen. So, but it did not happen, no? But ang dami mga speculations na po. Let's watch and listen to this video clip, no? Ang report sa media po dyan sa Pilipinas kahapon po regarding itong issue ni pwede ba mangyari si Senator Loren Legarda will be the first female Senate President, no? Kasi later on I will touch a little bit on this issue po, no? Let's watch first itong video clip po dyan po sa report sa Pilipinas about si Senator Loren Legarda. Nandito po. Let's watch and listen to this.
Yes, umuugong na naman nga at naging tensyonado na naman, Jiggy, yung pagbubukas nagbukas ng sesyon kaninang hapon bandang alas 3 yan, ano? Dahil nga umugong na naman yung balita, Jiggy, parang pang ilang araw ko lang kasi binabalita yung posibilidad, no, ng kudeta o pagpapatalsik kay Senate President Tito Soto. At kanina, umugong na naman yan with some reports na di umano ay nakakuha na ng 13 boto. At ngayon, kaka-adjourn lang daw sesyon ay nakita nga natin na ang umupo para mag-preside ay si Senator Loren Legarda. Kung matatandaan mo, sa aking past reports, ang sinasabi umugong din ang pangalan na di umano ay papalit kay Senate President Soto ay yung Senator Loren Legarda. Pero just to be clear, Jiggy, hindi napalitan ni Senate President Tito Soto. Nananatili siyang leader ng Senado at sa kanyang interview kanina lamang bago ko tumayo dito, kinumpirma niya na nagkaroon talaga ng attempt na patalsikin siya sa pwesto ngayong araw na ito mula sa minorya, pero napigilan daw yan ng majority bloc. I-discuss mo lang konti yung backgrounder. Bandang mga alas 2 ng hapon, nagkaroon ng focus yung majority bloc, gaya na sabi ko kanina, na mga Blue Ribbon Committee members para pag-usapan yung tungkol doon sa report na yan. Pero Jiggy, sinabayan din yan ng meeting naman ng ilang mga taga-minorya. So habang nangyayari yung focus ng mga senador mula sa mayorya dito sa second floor ng Senado, may nangyayari din na meeting ng minority bloc sa 6th floor naman. At nakita rin natin, hindi ko lang kung pinapalabas natin yung video, na nanggaling mismo sa opisina ni Senator Loren Legarda, sila Senator Amy Marcos at Senator Jinggoy Estrada na mga members ng minority bloc. So talagang kaya lumakas yung ugong na, teka muna, magkakapalitan na ba talaga ng leadership? At bago nga yung mismong session, dumaan sa harap natin si Senate Minority Leader Alan Cayetano at natanong ko siya mismo, magkakaroon ba ng pagbabago sa liderato? Ang nasagot lang niya sa atin ay, let's see. At nung tinanong ko naman sa Senator Ping Lacson about leadership change, sabi niya, hindi yan ang pinag-usapan namin sa loob ng caucus. Ang pinag-usapan daw talaga nila ay tungkol sa draft committee report ng Blue Ribbon Committee. So, sa haba ng kwentong yan, sa haba ng hapon na ito, Jiggy, nananatili ang liderato ng Senado at hindi natuloy ang kudeta at hindi napalitan ni Senate President Tito Soto. Please, Sir Jiggy.
Alright, dahil yan po, narinig natin ang report, official ito po, legit national sa GMA yata yan, no? GMA 5, no? Legit media outlet ito dyan sa Pilipinas po. So, ano nangyari po? The session yesterday, kahapon ito ang report. The session yesterday is scheduled to start at 3 a.m. alas 3 ng hapon. 3 p.m. But before the 3 p.m., there was a meeting, caucus po, carried out by the minority bloc. No? Minority bloc, ibig sabihin sila Senate President Soto, sila Ping Lacson, Antiveros, Pangilinan yun, mga members na po, no? ng majority bloc. And while there was a caucus by the majority bloc on the second floor ng building ng Senado, on the 6th floor, may meeting din po ang minority bloc. No? May meeting din ang minority bloc. But according to Senator Ping Lacson, the meeting of the majority bloc was focused more on the Blue Ribbon Committee draft report. So, we did not discuss anything about ang kudeta. Although, they admitted that they heard about there was an attempt for change of leadership sa Senado kahapon po. Neither ang minority bloc din po also admitted si Minority Leader Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, when he was asked by the reporter, sabi niya, let's see. Yun ang answer niya po, let's see. No? Neither he confirmed nor denied. Sabi niya, let's see po. But it did not happen. No? There was no change of leadership kahapon po. Although if you look at the session, no, towards the end of the session, si Senate President Soto allowed Senator Loren Legarda to pinch seat sa kanya po, no? Pinch seat sa kanya towards the end of the session. And because of that po, si Senator Loren Legarda was the one who adjourned ang session kahapon. Wherein si Subiri himself, no, nagiging issue ito po. But para sa akin, there was no issue po. Because si Zubiri addressed sino ito po? Si Senator Loren Legarda while nag-page seat siya po kay Senate President Soto, Madam Senate President. Yun po ang tawag niya po kay Senator Loren Legarda. There is no issue. For me, there is no issue po. If you notice, once mayroon mag-take over sa seat during the session, nag-excuse ang Senate President si Soto and mayroon nag-replace sa kanya po para tuloy-tuloy ang session. Kaya si Senator JB ba, si Senator Lacson ba, o kung sino man yan po. Normally, if you're sitting down sa chair yan po, they will address you as Mr. Senate President. Kung babae ka, Madam Senate President po. Ganon yan po. So, para sa akin, no issue. But sa media, they played that story po, no? Some people, they say the intentional, nagawa yun si Senate President Soto, just to pahiya daw po sa, ito po, sa minority bloc. Kasi hindi natuloy ang plano nila of change of leadership. Others took it differently. Differently po. So mayroon, everything we do po, mayroon negative and positive, no? Hindi lang isa lang po, no? Ang opinion. Mayroon yan talaga. There is always two faces in the coin. Mayroon talaga yan po. You cannot avoid. But for me, that was not an issue. So, ang importante dyan po is, let's wait until Monday, February 9 po. Tingnan natin po kung patuloy ba ito ang change of leadership or hindi. Tingnan natin po. So, yun ang dalawang issue that I want to touch today po, no? I really want to touch today. And, ito po, sandali ha, we'll see. Mayroon pa ba tayong footage dito? Kung wala na tayong footage, i-prepare na tayo po para bukas naman ang issue natin. But anyway, sige lang. Sandali ha. Okay, sandali lang po. Okay. Let me share with you before I will conclude itong vlogging natin today. Today is Thursday po, February 5th. No? Now, narinig na natin po na insufficient in substance ang dalawang complaint against President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, and of course, we are now looking forward, no? By next week ba ito po, o February 9 na naman po, ang baka mag-umpisa na po ang ang proceedings ng impeachment complaint against Inday Sara o Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Mayroon dito, I just want to share with you itong news article po para at least you will have an idea, no, of what is happening dyan po sa impeachment complaint against Inday Sara Duterte. And I got it from a Philstar also. Ang heading nila is longer impeach process versus Vice President Sara Duterte. Nandito po. I hope you don't mind. But I think kailangan I will share this news article sa inyong lahat po. Ang mga Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia, particularly sa Sabah, and of course, mga overseas Filipino workers kung nasan man kayo ngayon. And of course, yung mga kababayan, kapatid, and kaibigan natin who's watching the programa natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. Nandito po. Unlike in the case of President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., the new impeachment complaints filed against Vice President Sara Duterte will undergo a lengthy process and eventually hurdle the House Committee on Justice, a member of the House Minority believes po. Sabi isang miyembro ng House of Minority po kung mag-start itong proseso ng impeachment complaint against Vice President Inday Sara Duterte, mahaba daw ito po. It will not happen like what happened ang impeachment complaint against President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos. In an interview with Storycon on One News kahapon po, Senior Deputy Minority Leader and Caloocan Representative Edgar Erice projected that the impeachment complaint against Duterte will be declared sufficient in form and in substance. Yun po, sabi niya. Hindi din kagaya. Yun kay Marcos, sabi niya, itong impeachment ni Vice President Inday Sara Duterte will be declared sufficient in form and in substance. Expected naman yan po. Lahat naman we are expecting po. No? Pero yun po, this is the opinion of a Senior Deputy Minority Leader and Caloocan Representative Edgar Erice. Sa akin po, that's how I look at it. Kayo po, do you think it will be dropped? Ang impeachment complaint ni Inday Sara Duterte? I don't think so po. Ano? I think you agree with me that it will not be dropped. It will push through. Alright, I think this will be discussed at length. They will declare that there is sufficiency on the form and substance, sabi ni Erice. The Committee on Justice, he said, may hold several hearings wherein the allegation against Vice President will be thoroughly discussed. They will make it longer hearing po, maraming hearing po, just to satisfy ang mga tao po that they are doing their job properly. But I don't think so mga Filipinos will believe po. In fact, alam na mga Filipinos. While he expect the committee to vote in favor of impeaching Duterte for the second time, Erice said the situation is not clear at the plenary level. Sabi niya, maskin na maano na dito po sa Congress, dependent na ngayon ito po sa plenary, and then after that, depende pa rin po sa Senado. Sa Senado. But we look at it po, even if we go to the plenary session ng House of Representatives, nakita natin po, marami pa rin po ang mga supporters ni President Bongbong Marcos dyan po sa Kongreso. Dyan po sa Kongreso. Given the political situation, especially with the 2028 election on the horizon, he said lawmakers may have to guard public opinion before voting one way or the other. Yeah. Ito mga congressmen, they have to think twice na po, especially ang 2028 election. Because if you throw your support to the wrong person po, baka mahirapan po sa 2028 presidential election po. Remember, this congressman will have to go back to the public and seek their support so that they will be re-elected sa 2028. The political calculation will also depend on how the Vice President responds to the allegations. If the evidence is strong, I think public opinion will turn against her. He explained, under the Supreme Court decision that declares Duterte's first impeachment as void, the House Representative is now mandated to give the respondent the chance to respond to the allegation. This may result to committee-level hearings that would be similar to the preliminary investigation in the judicial system, Erice confirmed. So yun po, tingnan natin. Next week na naman ito po. Tingnan natin po kung anong latest updates, and I'll make sure po that kayo, mga followers ko po dito sa TikTok, Daniel Talk with Nico, you will be properly informed on the latest updates. So, ganon, Thursday ngayon, and I think pwede na muna itong two issues natin. And I'll make sure that tomorrow, on my next vlogging po, because I'm doing it daily, anong mga latest developments po, I'll make sure that you will be informed. Ha? I might not be able to give you the breaking news, but definitely, whatever news I'm going to share with you, every day po will be a fresh news. So in the meantime, eto muna po, si Nico Fabian once again would like to say, thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. Kababayan, kapatid, kaibigan, ingat lang tayo. I'll see you in my next episode. Bye, and I love you all. God bless.